Okay, so I'm starting dynamic lighting here. I'm going to start with the end result. So end result, I have a character and I'm going to put torch on them, Control L, and I can see what they see in this level. And as I move throughout the level, we have different areas we can and can't see, all that good stuff. So we're going to go over how to use the new dynamic lighting system to do this. I've seen a lot of videos on the old dynamic lighting system, so I just wanted to give back to the community, do one on the new dynamic lighting system as it exists today, which as you can see in the bottom right is May 5th. So let's start out with a new level. Okay, and in the new level, I like to work in isometric, so I turn off the grid, and I also like black background, so it just, I think, looks nicer for the characters. And I'm going to go ahead and load in my map first. So under my art assets and my map, and we'll go for dungeons, and we will use, not that, we will use this one. So this is what we were just looking at there. And I will drag it out here, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, now there's other cleanup, of course, you can do, but I'm not going to do that right now because I'm really just focusing on basics of dynamic lighting here. Okay, so these isometric dungeons and stuff like that, the drawings are made by Alex Drummo, so you should check them out on Patreon. I'll put a link in the video. Really cool stuff, and then I just colored them in using Photoshop. Okay, let's enable dynamic lighting for this map here. So first off, you just go to the giant clearly marked dynamic lighting tab and turn it to on. When you turn this on, you got to make sure your legacy dynamic lighting stuff is disabled because it creates issues, confusion, all that good stuff. So confusion on my part anyway, where I was trying to turn them both on, and of course that wasn't working. So I read the manual, and turns out you can't do that. So turn on dynamic lighting. All right. And you can see that the map is a little darker now. Dynamic lighting is enabled. So for the first thing I always do with this stuff is I will go and drop a character on here. So here we go. And I'm going to just shrink Uhtred down a little bit to be there because I want to be able to see what Uhtred sees. Okay, and that's Control L to see what the character can see. So first thing, whenever I'm working in isometric maps, I think of the lines. So I'm going to draw my lines for dynamic mapping. I like to use bright yellow, and I do extra large because I find that creates less fuzzy effect or less weirdness with the light leaking through. And really, all I want to do here is mark where you can't see. So in this particular case, like I don't want people to be able to see from here down to here. So I add that there. This is for like obvious ones, like here to here to here. I don't want light leaking through there. And like here to here, I don't want light to happen. I always try to cross the lines because I find that makes it easier to work with. The other thing is I have found I don't want really long lines because I don't want to do like one line that circles everything and then find, oh, I got to change something and then have to redo the line. That's just craziness. Okay, so here we'll do this to here, and then I'm going to do from here to here. And notice I keep crossing the lines, and that's to ensure coverage here. Okay, so another one is from here to here, and here to there. So I don't want somebody that's here be able to see over there. Okay. Let's also get from here. Oops. Control Z to undo. Right click to close off the line. Here to here. so that I can't see from here over to there. And then I will also do from here, finish the line, from here to here. Okay, so I can't see from here straight to that way. Now I will, as I come around this corner, be able to see around, but I don't want to just be able to see directly over there. Okay, now let's do this. So I go back to my layer, gonna see what Uhtred can see, and then hit this macro for torch. Now what I do is I do my basic lines, and then I just do like a quick walkthrough. Is that what I wanted? And I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted. Because notice, once I'm up here, I can see everywhere. And maybe that's what you want for your game, maybe not. That's not what I want for my game. I want the characters to have to start descending down this path to see what's down here. Okay, same thing here. And these doors, I'm going to actually put doors in there, so I don't want light to break through them. So as we go through, okay, so not too bad. I go through and make sure. Yeah, here's a good example. Now, if Uhtred is in this hallway, he already can see around this corner, and I don't want that. So I'm going to put a line there to stop that from happening. Okay. All right, so let's click away from Uhtred. You can also do that same thing. See how you have the darker and lighter area here? So the same thing there. So I'm going to put Uhtred back up here. All right, now I'm going to go to my dynamic lighting layer, and I try to use as few lines as possible for the maps. So I'm going to do a couple things here. One is I'm going to create a line that breaks these ramps. Okay, and now you can see how it's brighter here. I can still see what Uhtred is seeing. Okay, now the other thing is I have a stairs here. I'm going to break the stairs, and I want to break this ramp. All right, now let's go. Oh, I have one more. I wanted to work this wall a little bit. So what I'm going to do is actually put a line there. And these blue lines are meant to be taken off as the character crosses those areas. Okay, so as I go down the ramp, we're going to take those lines off. This one here, I'm going to move down a little bit. All right, there we go. Okay, so now, because again, these lines are to block light. All right, because again, I'm in isometric, I'm not using the grid. The lines are not really representative of anything than blocking the light. Okay, now see here where we have down here, I have some brightness, so I need to put in a little check there. But looking good on this side. As I cross in, I can see all kinds of stuff, but that's okay. That's what I want to be able to see. Here's that break again, so I don't want to see going across there. So I need to fix that. All right, here I can see these stairs over there, so I'm going to put a line right here to divide this. Okay. Yep, and that line there is going to take care of that. So come back over here. Okay, excellent. And again, it's just checking your light to see, do you only see what you want to be able to see? So here we go. See, now Uhtred can't see around the corner. And then as they come up to the corner, I can remove that line in the dynamic lighting layer. And over there. Okay, cool. So the issue is right here, and then I'm going to put a thing around these doors. All right, so let's go to our dynamic lighting layer. All right, yep, sure enough. So this is going to be a yellow line because I'm not going to ever remove this. And I'm just going to do that. Okay. Now, why just that? Because I'm going to put a red line here for this door. and a red line here for this door. So that should take care of that. The other one was right here, and I'll do it this way. So now, so yeah, it's just jumping back and checking. Okay, good. All right, I can see there's a ramp there, but of course he can see there's a ramp there. He's just got to look over and see that. And go here. Okay, cool. All right, let's put the doors in. So I go to dynamic lighting and go to my polygon, go to my red, and I'm going to start here. And I want the actual door frame to show. So we'll do it this way, and then I like to have them jut out so they're easy to kind of click on and cling to. Same thing with this one here. So this one is interesting because you could come down the path this way and see a door, or you could come down the path this way and see the door. So I need to account for both. So here's, oops, let's close that line off first. So here's what I'm going to do first. Go to here to here to here, close that line off, and then I'm going to build it so that if I would, this is if where this red line is now is if I'm in this hallway, I can see that door. Now I'm going to build a red line that if I'm in this area, I can still see the door. So it's going to be down here to here to here to here. Okay. Okay. And now if I go back to my objects layer and select, I can go and see, oh, I still have this shine through here, which I'll fix. Go in here, I can see the door, but no further. Okay. And so it really is just a matter of testing out, you know, that lighting that you want to have. So this here, I'm going to actually delete it, and I'm going to draw it as this kind of setup here. Okay, now let's go back and try again. Excellent. All right. And again, I try to use as many lines or as least number of lines as possible, not as many lines as possible. All right, the last bit here. So that's just how I'm setting up the lighting. And then I go to macros. I have a couple lighting macros that I use here. I am using Token Mod from Aaron. He is the developer of this. He's got a bunch of good scripts out there, so go check them out. But Token Mod, set emits light is true. You could also just do on emits light, and here's your distance that you want to emit it light for. So this is for torch. So this is just to set up somebody having a torch. You can go find the information for the dynamic lighting API support right here in this link and see all the different attributes and sample scripts and stuff like that. It's pretty cool stuff. Okay, so there's torch, then extinguish light, which is just turning off all the lighting that could be generated by this character. Dim the lights, so taking that and turning off any bright light and setting any light to 20. There's probably better ways of doing that, but that's just how I'm doing it quick. And then bonfire, which is to turn on the lights and set them to appropriate distance. So let's give these a try real quick. So we'll extinguish lights first, and we see that Uhtred is in the dark. We'll see what he sees. And go to bonfire, and we can see Uhtred has pretty good visibility. Extinguish the lights. Lights are out. Torch. And you can see the difference between the bright light and the low light. In torch, things are kind of darker. Bright light, things are pretty bright. So torch, and then dim the lights, and I can only see a little bit. So I hope you found this helpful. Again, this is using the dynamic lighting tutorial. One thing that I forgot is on the token, make sure you enable vision, because that's what lets somebody see in the dynamic lighting. So very important. Glad I didn't end and forget that, but you want to make sure vision is selected for the token. So hopefully this was helpful. Comments, questions, go ahead and drop them below, and happy gaming.